Have you
Always
been here
have.
before?
Oh yeah, this is my favorite place on the planet.
Why is that?
Well, there's so many reasons. I think Nantucket is really unique in the sense that it was a world-class city. It was the Dubai of 1820, and all of a sudden it died. The whaling stuff, everything died. Gold was discovered in California, and they started pumping oil up out of the ground instead of getting it from whales.
Sure.
So it was frozen in time as being a completely developed city.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anywhere else like that. And usually I love to come on the off season, the way off season, like January a lot of times.
Oh, do you?
And it feels like it's back in the 1800s then.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Boston. I'm living out in California now, very far, perilously far from my beloved Nantucket.
Okay.
But I come back every chance I get.
Now, what brought you back this time?
Well, this time...
Just for a visit, or?
Well, I'd written a novel that's set here, and I was dying to get it into Nantucket bookstores and things. And a couple of months ago, I got a chance to play the part of Quint at Jaws Fest in Martha's Vineyard, and I figured I'm so close to Nantucket, I'm come over. So I came over, and Mitchell's bookstore was really happy to carry the book, and the hub right over here, and Nantucket Bookworks. So I came back now. I did a book signing at Mitchell's, and just trying to get the word out.
It's a book that's set here on Nantucket?
Yeah, it's a.
All right, tell us a little bit about it.
It's set half in the present and half in the 1840s. It's kind of a seagoing romantic adventure with a paranormal time travel ghost aspect to it. Have I filled in enough things into a single genre?
You've booked me so far. Keep going.
And it's kind of bookended in Boston. It almost, you could almost say Boston is like Kansas is in Oz, and Nantucket is Oz.
Right, yeah.
This is where a life-changing adventure happens for the main character, George, who's starts out as kind of a loser in a nowhere job, not knowing why he can't get his life together, but he always wanted to go to Nantucket. He's only living in Boston. It's not that far, so finally, after he breaks up with his girlfriend on Thanksgiving, he decides to spend the Thanksgiving 4-day weekend here in Nantucket.
By himself?
Yeah. And he's going to just kind of do some soul searching and be where he always wanted to be. And he ends up getting involved in this whole ghostly romance that brings him back to the 1840s in a Twilight Zone-esque way. And
awesome.
He really learns that he had a whole past life back then. And the woman, this is a spoiler now, I'm going to give the whole thing away.
Well, but, maybe you shouldn't give the whole thing away, but...
Yeah.
So he's out here, and he's staying in an inn, and he sees a ghost? Or is that...
Yeah, he sees this beautiful raven-haired woman dressed in Victorian clothes, and he just is drawn to her. He doesn't realize she's a ghost at that point. And he sees her a couple of different places on the island and tries to get in contact with her, and finally she contacts him and draws him back into her world, and he thinks he's going nuts. He's, this doesn't really happen. I finally had that breakdown, and so he's really questioning his whole sanity about it.
Wow. Now, why did you write a story like this, as opposed to writing a different kind of a story about Nantucket?
Well, it's funny. I had, from the very first time I came here, which was actually right around this time of year. It was Columbus Day weekend, and I think it was 1984. A friend of mine was playing at Brotherhood of Thieves, and a hurricane had blown through, and the streets were completely empty, no people, and it just felt like the 1840s, frozen in time.
Oh, sure.
And I had that weird haunting sense, like I lived a past life here myself. I felt like I knew things that I'd never even seen before. And it was just kind of brewing in me as these elusive wisps of emotions and ideas for a while. And finally I committed to sitting down and writing it. And it was, and I don't know, it's funny, the story just kind of fell into place as I went. It wasn't something I...
Have you written other novels?
Yeah, I have one I've written after that that's a political thriller / detective novel set in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Okay.
And that's actually the first of a series of probably about 7 books. I'm halfway through the second one in that series.
Wow.
And I've written a bunch of screenplays. That's
It sounds like the one you just described, the Nantucket story, would make a nice screenplay as well.
Yeah, actually, I had originally...
I mean, being out in... Is that why you stay in California? For that purpose?
Yeah.
Close to the...
And I really made my living in the film industry doing kind of what you do. I did camera and lighting.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
you don't do that? You don't have to do that anymore? Are you strictly an author now?
Yeah, now I've made the break and moved from L.A. up to Ventura and just spending my time writing.
Is that right? Because you can afford to do that now? Or because you're
barely.
forcing yourself? Barely.
But
it was a decision that you said, look, I love it so much
yeah,
that it's distracting me. I'm putting words in your mouth, but is that true? That if I don't stick to this, then I may not ever get serious enough about it.
It was a real passion for me. And also, to tell you the truth, getting older, I had gotten used to working as a lighting designer on TV, and I would get a crew. I was a head lighting director at WWOR in New York.
Awesome.
And I had a 20-man crew. I mean, I never had to do any climbing anymore. Out in LA, which has a stronger union, you'd be surprised. Once the show is up and running, I have no crew at all. So I'm operating the lighting board, and if a lamp blows, I just have the space of a commercial break or a tape segment to climb 35 feet up and change it. And these big old 5Ks, and my knees can't take it anymore.
Oh my God!
I said, it's time to get out of this.
So as an author, and for those folks out there that wish they could try their hand at writing and making a living, what advice would you say?
Well, it kind of sounds like a platitude, I guess, but really, follow your heart. It's writing, whether or not I was to make it as an author or not, just the act of writing is the happiest I've ever been.
Do you have to force yourself?
Doing it. No, well, it's funny because once I put it down and I don't do it, it's like I do have to force myself. It's like doing my taxes or something. Like, oh no! But once I sit down and start doing it, I just love it. And I'm a binge writer. I'll write for like 10 hours and I just go.
And do you use a computer?
Yeah. But the funny thing is that I have 7 screenplays and 2.5 novels. I've written everything with just these 2 fingers.
Has any screenplay been made into a movie?
No, I have one right now that's being read by Colin Firth and Vilmos Zsigmond, who's one of the big
Oh yeah, he's
DPs.
a cinematographer.
Yeah,
Great
he's
one.
Always been one of my heroes, and
Now
he's attached to direct it.
Who is he? Who does he work with? What director is he mostly working with?
Well, he did a lot of work with Spielberg. A lot of work with Michael Cimino.
Okay. Yeah.
He did Deliverance and Close Encounters, Cave and Mrs. Miller, and
he's still around.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And he's attached to direct that one of my scripts, that same one that Colin Firth is reading. So
which one is he interested in? Which story?
It's called Close Proximity, and it's a little-known story about a British tramp steamer that was only 8 miles away from the Titanic when it sank. They saw the entire sinking and never came to the rescue. And there was this huge Senate inquest when the survivors all got to New York, and they found out about these guys, and they were raked over the coals and their whole careers were destroyed. And it's a story about their descent into hell. And
Is it set in a court?
About half of it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Ooh, that's always good drama.
Yeah. So I have high hopes for that one. And
I want to bring up a movie that just for some reason popped into my head that I just saw on video that I highly recommend. That is partly set in court. The Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, I've heard of that. I haven't seen it.
Oh, the script. You've got to see it because the writing is so good.
Ah, I think that came from a novel.
For those folks out there and for you, check it out.
Well, I definitely will.
Good. Yeah. So that's exciting. Do they option it from you, or do they just read it for now and then they would take an option? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, it goes back and forth. I've had this script optioned several times.
Oh, you have? Well, that's good.
So you make money even though the film's, whether or not the film's going to get made.
Yes.
So it's not a bad deal.
Oh, okay. Well, good. So you're just dying for that first one.
Oh yeah.
What can a writer expect to make? Roughly between 50 grand and $1 million, or is it that widespread? Or
it really is all over the map. I mean, you got people like J.K. Rowling, who is now a multi-millionaire and was on welfare when she was writing the first Harry Potter, you know.
Exactly.
And there's those kind of stories in screenwriting too, but the odds are pretty far against it. I think that you're better off writing with no attachment to outcome, without thinking about, I'm going to do this to be rich, or I'm going to do this to just write because
I think you should do that with
it.
anything.
You know, yeah. That's
not just for writing, but yeah, I agree with you.
And I've done that thing
That's hard to do sometimes, especially when you're in the entertainment business.
Oh yeah.
You know, because there's so much glamour, and that's partly maybe why you got into it in the first place. So you almost have to face yourself again. You look at yourself constantly going, am I doing this for fame, or am I doing this because I'm stuck in it?
Oh yeah, it's a real tightrope walk, and I've fallen into that. Like, I feel like I've been living the life of Ralph Cramden half the time. You know, it's like something happens and it just seems like a short thing, and you come home to your wife, we're gonna be rich, this is it, and then it fails spectacularly at the last minute.
Do you have a wife?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have kids and everything?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I got 2 from a previous marriage and 3 from her previous marriage, so we got 5 altogether.
Oh my goodness.
And 2 dogs.
Hey, that's great.
They're like kids.
Is she in the business too, or?
No, she used to work at Boeing.
Okay.
And she's retired and sleeping over here at the Roberts house right now.
Oh, she came with you. That's great. Oh, well, maybe your next one will be a Nantucket romance.
Could be, but there's a lot of romance in this one.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, so, people can buy this book and pick it up at Mitchell's? Or
yeah, it's at Mitchell's.
Is it at Bookworks?
Yeah, it's at Nantucket Bookworks, and it's at the Hub.
At the Hub, good.
And
online, can they buy it online?
Yeah, it's on the
What's the name
Amazon
of it?
site. It's called Distress Signal.
Okay, Distress Signal.
Yeah, and you can get it through Amazon as a hard copy or a Kindle download. And also Barnes & Noble, you can get it both of those ways too. So.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. So, million options to buy it.